1. When designing ability to benefit ATB preparation programs, which adult learning principle is most critical to ensure learners connect new knowledge to their prior experiences? A. Behaviorist reinforcement. B. Experiential relevance. C. Rote memorization. D. Instructor-centered teaching. 2. A mentor working with ATB students emphasizes problem-solving in real-world scenarios. This reflects which approach in adult learning theory? A. Pedagogical model. B. Self-directed learning. C. Cognitive dissonance. D. Experiential learning. 3. Which evaluation method is best suited to measure whether ATB candidates can apply reading skills in practical workplace settings? A. Multiple choice quiz. B. Authentic performance task. C. Oral recitation. D. Memorization drills. 4. In curriculum development for ATB test prep, which of the following ensures alignment with adult learners' career goals? A. Standardized memorization exercises. Rigid sequencing of topics. C. Integration of contextualized instruction. D. Exclusive focus on abstract theories. 5. To comply with federal regulations, institutions administering the ATB test must A. Provide free tutoring sessions. B. Use only in-house developed exams. C. Administer approved and recognized ATB assessments. D. Allow students to retake without limits. 6. Which communication strategy most effectively supports ATB candidates who struggle with test anxiety? A. Providing frequent written feedback in complex language. B. Encouraging silence to foster independence. C. Using clear, supportive, and empathetic dialogue. D. Focusing strictly on scores without discussion. 7. A mentor notices that ATB students learn best when content is connected to job skills. This reflects A. Compliance with regulatory standards only. B. Principles of adult relevance and motivation. C. A rigid content delivery framework. D. Test-only teaching approaches. 8. During formative evaluation of ATB prep, which tool is most effective for identifying individual learner gaps? A. End-of-term final test. B. Structured peer feedback session. C. Nationwide benchmark exam. D. Instructor-only reflections. 9. When creating ATB instructional materials, curriculum developers should prioritize A. Highly abstract concepts without context. B. Complex language to challenge learners. C. Practical applications with adult relevance. D. Memorization-focused drills. 10. A communication barrier most likely to affect ATB learners is A. Overuse of technical jargon. B. Simplified and contextualized examples. C. Active listening strategies. D. Open-ended questioning. 11. The evaluation method that provides the most immediate feedback to ATB students is A. Summative testing. B. Peer-reviewed journal articles. C. Formative assessments. D. National data reports. 12. Which mentoring technique best supports long-term persistence among ATB test takers? A. Critiquing errors harshly for discipline. B. Building a supportive learning relationship. C. Limiting contact to testing days only. D. Emphasizing test-taking speed over comprehension. 13. In curriculum design for ATB, the inclusion of modular flexible units addresses which adult learning need? A. Structured teacher control. E. Linear memorization. C. Adaptability to varied learning paces. D. Fixed curriculum sequencing. 14. Regulatory compliance for ATB requires institutions to A. Ensure test results are shared confidentially. B. Publish all student scores publicly. C. Create local versions of the test. D. Provide unlimited retesting without approval. 15. Which principle of adult learning is most relevant when ATB students request real-world examples in instruction? A. Problem-centered focus. B. Instructor dominance. C. Memorization of theories. D. Passive reception of content. 16. A valid summative evaluation for ATB preparation should A. Measure outcomes against learning objectives. B. Focus exclusively on attendance. C. Ignore test content relevance. D. Rely on self-report only. 17. In ATB mentoring, goal-setting sessions are effective primarily because they A. Increase external control by mentors. B. Empower learners with self-direction. C. Replace the need for study plans. D. Eliminate the requirement for evaluations. 18. Which curriculum development practice ensures alignment with ATB testing requirements? A. Mapping objectives to test competencies. B. Designing unrelated enrichment modules. C. Using only general life skills training. D. Excluding standardized benchmarks. 19. Which communication method fosters trust with ATB learners from diverse backgrounds? A. Standardized scripts for all interactions. B. Active listening with cultural sensitivity. C. Avoiding learner input during sessions. D. Using complex formal language exclusively. 20. A mentor assigns reflective journaling to ATB students. This supports which adult learning principle? A. Experiential reflection. E. Passive memorization. C. Instructor-centered delivery. D. Fixed rote practice. 21. Which regulatory guideline governs the use of ATB assessments in relation to financial aid eligibility? A. Local instructor discretion only. B. Federal Department of Education policies. C. Institutional marketing practices. D. State-funded curriculum development. 22. When mentoring ATB candidates, scaffolding strategies are important because they A. Reduce learners' independence permanently. B. Provide step-by-step support toward mastery. C. Focus only on test memorization. D. Eliminate the need for evaluation. 23. In evaluation, norm-referenced ATB testing primarily measures A. Student performance against established standards. B. Growth relative to individual progress. C. Comparison with peer groups. D. Self-reported satisfaction. 24. An instructor who integrates workplace simulations into ATB preparation is applying A. Drill and practice pedagogy. B. Experiential adult learning principles. C. Lecture-heavy instruction. D. Regulatory compliance only. 25. Which of the following is most critical for maintaining ATB program compliance? A. Documenting testing conditions and procedures. E. Allowing unmonitored exams. C. Modifying questions without approval. D. Substituting informal quizzes. 26. Adult learners in ATB prep often value A. Immediate applicability of learning. B. Instructor-centered lectures. C. Strict memorization drills. D. Passive note-taking. 27. The most reliable way to evaluate mentoring effectiveness in ATB support programs is to A. Measure only test pass rates. B. Collect learner feedback and outcomes data. C. Monitor attendance records. D. Rely solely on institutional reputation. 28. In communication strategies for ATB learners, paraphrasing a student's concern demonstrates A. Active listening. B. Instructor dominance. C. Passive reception. D. Regulatory compliance. 29. In curriculum planning, aligning assessment tasks with both ATB standards and learner career goals exemplifies A. Constructive alignment. B. Traditional pedagogy. C. Unrelated enrichment. D. Memorization drills. 30. Which mentoring practice fosters resilience among ATB students preparing for multiple attempts? A. Normalizing challenges and encouraging persistence. Avoiding discussion of setbacks. C. Emphasizing failure as final. D. Ignoring emotional aspects of learning. 31. Which adult learning principle is best applied when ATB test prep instructors encourage learners to solve problems based on personal work experiences? A. Rote practice. E. Relevance and application. C. Teacher-centered control. D. Passive observation. 32. A regulatory requirement for institutions using the ATB test is to A. Use only Department of Education approved assessments. B. Design customized unverified tests. C. Exclude all retesting options. D. Publish student results publicly. 33. Which mentoring technique most effectively reduces dropout risk among ATB learners? A. Ignoring setbacks to maintain focus. B. Normalizing challenges and providing encouragement. C. Strictly focusing on test memorization. D. Limiting mentor contact to test days.